back in the day, the government was trying to evict all the people who were living on the island, and they've been trying to evict people uh, since the Second World War, or actually before the Second World War. This was like a community. This was the Toronto's playground out here, and there were some big, huge mansions, and there were some carnival areas, and a little village, a proper village in Centerville. What happened is all the big houses, all the wealthy people started traveling north, and so all these big houses were being turned into rental units, and they sort of got decrepit in that, and so all these big houses were fire traps. So the city said, okay, we're going to change the focus of the island. So they started eliminating houses at the airport end of the island, and so they cleared all the land for the airport. They floated the houses over to here, to Algonquin Island, and then they started tearing down these big mansions. So there's this real incredible history of the loss of one of the oldest neighborhoods in Toronto was losing all its housing. But all the people who could make money from the loss of their house did that. But there were a bunch of people that just decided no, they didn't want to leave. And so all the people, the hardcore residents, started moving to the eastern side of the island, which is Ward's Island and Algonquin. And so the political sensibility got harder and harder, and post World War II, there was like active resistance to the island community disappearing. And then in the 60s, the whole area was pretty run down, but with American draft dodgers who are really politicized, and politicos of all kinds of sorts, artists, poets, writers, lawyers, the community became really gnarly and just refused to go. And so it just got, it was a very exciting place to live, because there was all these left-leaning kind of people living out here, and we just all came up with all these kind of strategies for fighting City Hall. And so basically, when I moved here, it was sort of in the process of fighting City Hall. It was a very active thing. So yeah, we all participated, and it was really fantastic because as a creative person or as an artist, you're often lost, wondering what to do with yourself. You have these skills, but you don't know what to do with them. Well, there was a lot of creative people out here, and there was a lot of people desperate not to be kicked out of their houses. So all the writers started writing, all the lawyers started taking things to court. Everyone was passionate about it, so all the creative people got together and started creating signs and puppets and making puppets, going to City Hall, protesting. And so in fact the start of Shadowland Theatre was started growing out of the important work to save the Toronto Island. So we were one of the early groups that did all this outdoor celebratory protest stuff at City Hall or on the streets, and so we started writing plays about what it meant to love your community, and what does community mean, and what are the community stories, and who are the senior citizens, and who are the elders, and what kind of birds and snakes and ants and toads and frogs live out here. And it all became important for us, and so we're caretakers or custodians of the community.